And let me cut across to Arvind Kumar Jain, former DGP UP. He'd be able to add more to it. Mr. Jain, you know, the state of Uttar Pradesh, you yourself have administrated it as the DGP at one time, is not, you know, new to stampedes and mass gathering. Committees have been set up after committees, nothing has come out of it. The question this time, can the DM, can the SP just get away with saying that an investigation is on and an FIR has been registered against the organizers? What were they doing? What did they give permissions for this mass gathering? Were adequate safety arrangements being made?
I would like to make a few points. First of all, there was a gathering of more than 50,000 people. Although Baba had informed, his men had informed police that there will be hardly 15,000 people. Vehicles were scattered over a period, over an area of 3 kilometers, and people had come from Rajasthan, Haryana, and MP also. So number was large. I have also attended a few samagams of Morari Bapu and others. The tents are kept open from all sides so that there is proper ventilation. In this case, it had become an oven because there was only one exit. And this is generally done so that Baba is not disturbed during his discourse. Because people keep on coming, people keep on moving out. It should have been allowed. And there are orders to this effect in UP after Meerut tragedy, a fire tragedy in which 70, 80 people had lost their lives because tent was closed from all sides. And there was a stampede because there was a very small gate for exit. And same thing has happened at this place also. There should have been ambulances, there should have been air circulators around the tent so that people get proper ventilation. Had tents been open from all sides, this stampede would not have taken place. Baba organizers are responsible. The district administration is responsible. I say that the police is also responsible. They should have gone and checked. They should have asked the Baba to open the tent from all sides. This is not acceptable at all. Any person with little bit of intelligence will say that tent should be open from all sides in this sultry weather. When there is so much of heat, you have closed the tent from all sides. It had become a furnace. And when people started to move out, they started rushing out and they trampled over women, children. And that's the main reason for the tragedy.
You are right, because most of the people that have died, and most of the people that have died include mostly women and tens of young children, viewers. They have died of suffocation because, as the gentleman was explaining, the tent had become a furnace. They couldn't breathe. They tried to get out, resulting in a stampede. Most of them suffocated to death. This was the death trap. This is how cheap life is in this country. Ghanshyam Tiwari, you know, steering clear of politics of it all, this is really not the first incident. The state of Uttar Pradesh, infamous for stampedes at mass gathering, where committees are set up, but nothing really comes out of it. The numbers keep increasing. This would have to be one of the worst tragedies in a stampede in the state that you live in, Ghanshyam Tiwari.
Good evening, Preeti, to you, my fellow co-panelists and the viewers. It is a matter of shock. This tragedy is at a national scale, and it is heart-wrenching to see the images that are coming of children and women especially, and young people trampled to death, severely injured. And then the questions that are coming on how such a gathering was allowed, why basic necessary precautions in crowd control were not taken, or basic necessary precautions in ensuring that such hazards don't happen were not taken. And thereafter, why the response of the administration was slow and inadequate. We have appealed as a party that every one of our workers in the area will support all the relief measures and will support anyone who's injured and support the families of those who are victims. But at this time, I think there are several questions that arise. There is no instant answer that I have of how this could have been prevented. But I'm sure that there is basic things that are amiss. They are not there. There are clear fingers getting pointed to the Godman who is responsible for this kind of of gathering. You cannot, in this kind of space and with this kind of arrangement, have 20,000 or 50,000. There are different numbers that I've heard. People gather in one place and then create a scenario where it seems that the Godman was leaving and people were stopped from leaving as a result of that to allow his cavalcade to pass. You cannot create a show and pomp after you have created so many people, brought so many people in one place. So it is simply heart-wrenching. I don't have words to explain.
You know, it's disgusting to call this man a godman, so we're going to try and steer clear of that. The self-styled godman, who is he exactly? I want to bring in Shreya Chatterjee, and then we'll cut across to Anila Singh from the Bharatiya Janata Party as well. Shreya, who is this Bholenath in question, and where is he right now?
Preeti, this person, his name, he goes by Narayan Sakari Baba. Whether or not that is his original name is something that needs to be ascertained as well. He is locally from Eta itself, is what we are learning from the initial information. He left his job at an early age of 26 is what local information that we've got suggests. And after that, he has been running this business. And if you, navigate through open source information, you can see that there are thousands of his videos, thousands of, those videos that are there on social media. And even for this program, Preeti, we are clearly seeing that they are asked a lot of people.
Shreya, I'm going to cut you short. Apologies. The reason I'm doing so is we have the SDM of the area, Dharmendra Kumar, on the phone line. Dharmendra ji, इस पूरे सत्संग की इजाजत, परमिशन आपने दी थी? धर्मेंद्र जी, पूरे सत्संग, ये जो पूरा सत्संग है, धर्मेंद्र जी आवाज आ रही है आपको? All right, the SDM, we're going to try and connect to him later. Shreya, sorry, getting back to you. Go ahead, make your point.
Well, as I was just talking about this particular person, Preeti, they operate very well on social media. There were multiple videos asking people to gather at this congregation in Hathras, and there was clearly a committee that was also managing the entire event. As I was also talking with you earlier, from the initial bites that are coming in, we are talking about thousands and thousands of people packed together at a place which had a narrow exit, which did not have proper ventilation. These people were almost forced into a death trap. That is extremely shocking and unfortunate. The district administration cannot shy away from the incident by merely saying that we had a permission that we allowed for a less number of people. It was their duty to ascertain that how many people would actually turn up and also ensure proper arrangements were in place. Now, after the incident transpired, the second information that we're getting from locals is that adequate number of medical attention was not there at the district hospital, which resulted in much delay of those who were brought in serious condition. So clearly that's the reason you're seeing the number of deceased that is almost now crossing or reaching the third digit is what we are learning from our sources. The official confirmation is yet to come in from the administration, but clearly this is a very unfortunate and shocking incident. The visuals show that how women and children mostly suffered from this death trap, which is a man-made tragedy.
Shreya, stay on with me. I want to bring in Anila Singh into this conversation. What we're looking at right now, and we're going to fall short of just confirming it because we want to be responsible. But the numbers that are coming in right now seem that it will definitely cross 100, and that's a conservative figure right now, where the fatalities and the death toll is concerned. This is how devastating this stampede has been. And Anila Singh, in recent times, Uttar Pradesh is no stranger to stampedes at mass gatherings, but in recent times, this would be a fatality that even your state hasn't seen. The question, Anila Singh, is where you say an FIR against organizers, the chief minister going tomorrow, committees will be set up. It's happened in the past. What is going to be the takeaway? To begin with, will this self-styled Godman be behind bars in the next 24 hours, Anila Singh?
First of all, my heartfelt condolences to those who have left for heavenly abode. This is so shocking. Like, I can't express my feelings in my words because everybody is shocked, including you. But the reality is that if somebody pinpoints that it is all because of the Yogi Sarkar in Uttar Pradesh, this stampede happened, it is very, very unfair, because I have a list in front of me of stampedes which happened in our country time and again in different states. None of the government, whether they are state government or the center government, they do not want any stampede or any mishappening happen in the area. And this was a personal program. Babaji was there to do the satsang, and the permission was given by the SDM of the area. And the organizers, they were responsible. Police force was there to see that if something goes wrong, then definitely they will be there to help out. But people were in large number, and how the things rolled and how this thing happened, whole of the whatever happened, it is going to come in front of us after inquiry will be completed. But if somebody says,
yeah.
as I heard, sorry?
But Anila Singh, nobody is saying that it has only happened in Yogi Adityanath's term. The larger question still, you saying, what you are saying is it was yet to come. What really happened? It's on our screens. And it shows how cheap life is in our country. So I ask you the question again, Anila Singh. Other than the Chief Minister going to Hathras, will action be taken? Will this Godman, the Babaji that you speak of, is clearly no Babaji because he's led hundreds to their death with this satsang. Will he be behind bars? Number one. Will the district magistrate, will the SP of the area, who say ke jaanch chal rahi hai, will they just get away with that? Because if permissions were given, were they followed up with safety arrangements? When they saw the crowds, which they say have given permission for only 10,000 and 50,000 turned up, did they take action? And like you said, police were there in large numbers. What were they doing?
Preeti, absolutely. This person will be behind the bars. There is no doubts about it. Because this whole program was in his honor. And at least he should have assured that everything was in line. If he would have inquired that how the program is going to go ahead and people should not rush after him, whether things are going to be in proper way or not, perhaps we wouldn't have seen this day today, this and unfortunate the incident which happened. So there is absolutely no questions about it that those who are responsible for this sad incident, whether the inquiry will be going to happen against them or not, whether they will be behind the bars or not, of course they will be behind the bars and proper action will be taken against them.
Well, it is horrifying, it's devastating, it is catastrophic if you look at it. The visuals might be blurred, but you cannot miss the number of women being wheeled in and tens of children, all of them dying because of suffocation. Pooja Tripathi from the Congress is also joining us right now. Pooja Tripathi, steering clear of politics. You come from the state of Uttar Pradesh, and it's not just that an incident has taken place under the BJP government. Incidents of stampedes have taken place year after year, and UP is infamous for it. Committees have been set up year after year and nothing quite has come out of them. And this time, I would reckon in recent history, the fatalities the most devastating.
I think, Preeti, you're right. The catastrophe or the tragedy that has unfolded today, the report says that more than 120 persons have been dead. And I really don't want to. Today, for the timing, I really don't want to delve into politics of which state has the bigger stampede number, which state has the bigger fatalities. I don't think it's a day to do. But it is actually a day to fix responsibility. What I saw, what the visuals were coming, that people were crying for help and they were saying that the Hathras district hospital had only one doctor catering to 100 plus people injured. And, they were lying on ground motionless. They were lying on ground dead. The people were referred to Lucknow. There were not adequate ambulances. There's not adequate public infrastructure, the delivery of public services. Again, when some Godman, we see how people flung in large numbers in the satsangs of Godman. Why have who gave them the security clearances? Were they prepared to handle enough so many crowds? The DM and SP just putting away questions. Ki 30-40 चल रही है, लोगों की death हुई है, जांच चल रही है. I don't think that's in 2024. We deserve a administration. We deserve a government like that does not hold accountable. The absence of an active health infrastructure, and absence of an active health referral services to overcome this kind of tragedy is shocking. And I'm sure many, being a doctor myself, I'm sure many have died because they were not referred on time. And this speaks volumes about this should be a priority. When we say health should be a priority, when we say that health infrastructure should be strengthened, when we should say that the security around this big mass gathering should be strengthened. When you say police has an additional duty, it's not just that organizers will always shell some money and get security clearances. It's police department which needs to ensure that so many people are being secured, and it's very devastating. Really don't want to get into politics, but this
that's the sad part, because what's coming in, the self-styled Godman goes by the name of Narayan Hari. He's retired from the police force himself. It's bizarre.
Exactly.
Will this man be in custody? That's the big question. I want to cut across back to my colleague Abhishek and Shreya, and we'll go back to Ghanshyam Tiwari. Shreya is still with us. Shreya, it does seem that the fatalities, unfortunately, are rising and have already crossed the 100 mark. Most of them women, tens of children in that number. What more are you picking up from your sources?
Well, Preeti, extremely unfortunate news trickling down. And as you're rightly pointing it out, unfortunately, the death figure is likely to cross the third 3-digit. We are yet to get an official confirmation from the local administration, who's now really attending those who are, injured in the entire incident. But the instant or the initial response that have come in from the people, first clearly understanding that this was a narrow area where the congregation of thousands and thousands of people were allowed, despite administration knowing that an incident was happening, they could have avoided if they would have taken proper checks and balance. Second, when people got injured and they had or needed medical treatment, there was not immediate or adequate supply that was there available at the district. So these are mainly two of the reasons why we are going to see such a high figure. We hope that there is proper action taken against the organizer and also the Godman who's responsible for the death of such a huge number of people.
Shreya, do we know where Narayan Hari is right now?
Also been set up by... Well, we are yet to ascertain where he is right now, but he is a local of Eta. That is something we have picked up from our local sources. The UP police has obviously already started the process to register an FIR against him and the organizers responsible for organizing the entire event. And they're also trying to locate him, is what we're initially picking up from our sources.
Not just this self-styled Godman, the DM and the SP today need to be suspended, and if after a proper investigation they are found to be wanting, need to be sacked, viewers. Joining me right now is former DGP Uttar Pradesh, Vikram Singh, joining us live as well. Mr. Singh, it is amazing in terms of the security lapse that we have seen go down in Hathras. You yourself have administered the state. In recent memory, Vikram Singh, this would have to be the most devastating stampede in UP in terms of fatalities.
Preeti ji, good evening, and good evening, esteemed panelists. Yes, in recent memory, in the last few decades, we have not had something as devastating as this one. And yes, you very rightly said that the so-called Godman and his gang are primarily responsible, but the DM and the SSP cannot absolve themselves of their administrative responsibility. This tragedy was avoidable, and to say that it was relegated to the sevadars of the self-styled Baba, who should have monitored a gathering of, say, more than 1 lakh people. 1 lakh people did not descend from heaven. They collected over a period of hours. And the application is another pearl of wisdom when he says, innumerable people are expected to collect. What do you mean by innumerable people? There is something known as due inquiry intelligence reports, and then they are collected and police arrangements are made and they are charged for by the people, because it is an event that generates profit for the Godman. Nothing like this was done. No police arrangements were made.